Good day, I am Adrian Atkinson and this is your JIS News for Friday, September 22, 2023. The government will be allocating $150 million to bolster Irish potato production as well as $80 million in support of onion producers. Agriculture Minister Floyd Green made the announcement at the recent commencement of the 2023 to 2024 National Irish Potato and Onion Production and Productivity Incentive Programme. Under the initiative, onion and Irish growers will receive technical assistance, seeds and herbicides. They will also receive equipment such as rotor bedders used for land preparation, seed planters and tractor service. Minister Green says one of the goals of the Irish Potato Programme is to achieve an increase in production by 20 tonnes per hectare by 2024. The minister adds that the funds will be used to ramp up crop care, training and productivity among farmers.
And we're going to use our 150 million plus the support from our various partners to do a number of things. Clearly, we're going to continue to provide support in relation to chemicals, working with our farmers up to a maximum of 2 hectares. We're going to be establishing 9 validation plots because we have to enhance our training. And I want more farmers to be planting for a direct market that has already been predetermined.
This, Minister Green says, will give farmers a sense of certainty about the profit that will be made from the crops. Jamaica's sound fiscal management is being credited for the country's ability to secure climate finance. Minister with responsibility for climate change, Senator Matthew Samuda, gave the details as he addressed the 78th General Assembly of the United Nations in New York on Wednesday. It's being held under the theme Scaling Up Climate Finance, Investment for a Livable Planet. Among the financing available to Jamaica is $968 million under the IMF Precautionary and Liquidity Line Arrangement and $764 million under the Resilience and Sustainable Facility. Minister Samuda says these are emergency facilities that the government can draw down should there be a need. In addition, US $175 million is also available through the catastrophe bond. Despite this, Minister Samuda says much more is needed to meet the country's climate resilience.
We really, as SIDS, we have a capacity gap, and it's not something it's understood, but it's not helped sufficiently, I think, from our multilateral partners. Because ultimately, to build the sorts of transactions that do facilitate crowding in of finance is difficult. And when you have a small public bureaucracy, developing those sorts of programs is difficult.
In the meantime, Minister Samuda gave an update on the island's nationally determined contributions, NDCs.
We expect that half of our energy will be produced by renewable sources by 2030. We will start a 45 megawatt solar floating system over our largest reservoir within weeks. It's something we're very proud of. Our water system is the largest user of electricity in Jamaica. So it's very important that we start to decarbonize that. We will also go to market for 200 megawatts of clean energy production.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness is reporting a reduction in its general immunization program. This is being attributed to the implementation of the catch-up vaccination program, which began last year and continued into this summer. Director of Family Health Services in the Ministry, Dr. Julia Rowe Porter, says the immunization program is on track following the diversion of resources during the pandemic. Dr. Rowe Porter says the country's vaccination rate was at 80%, 15% below the 95% target. The ministry was, however, able to close the gap over the summer period with the administering of back-to-school medicals.
We use that as an opportunity to engage parents and ensure that they take their cards in and that their children are up to date, and if they're not, then we vaccinate them.
Jamaica's mandatory immunization, which prioritizes children, serves to protect the population against deadly diseases, many of which the country has been able to eliminate through vaccines. By law, all children under the age of 7 must be adequately immunized for their age and for registration to schools. School operators and healthcare workers can be found liable if they allow children to attend school without being properly immunized.
And this applies to daycares, nurseries,
Right.
basic schools, primary schools, all children. We are victims of our own success, meaning we've done so well as a country. We've gotten international awards for our program, and it's to the point where we've forgotten what these diseases do. We can't slip and slide and say, well, what's the point? We're not seeing them, let's not get vaccinated, because if we do, then we'll go back to the era where we're suffering from these deadly diseases.
Dr. Ro Porter was speaking on our current affairs program, Get the Facts. Catch the full interview in this Sunday's Jamaica magazine. In other news, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has condemned the attack on a director of the Integrity Commission. Mr. Holness expressed deep concern about the incident which took place on Thursday in the Commission's parking lot. In a release, Prime Minister Andrew Holness underscored the critical role the Commission plays in upholding the principles of transparency, accountability and integrity within the country. He said acts of violence directed at individuals serving in such critical roles is an insult to the country's democratic values. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Holness reiterated his full confidence in the ability of the law enforcement agencies to swiftly investigate the matter and bring those responsible to justice. The public is also being urged to cooperate with the authorities in their investigation. And finally, the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, is being hailed for its assistance to Jamaica's women and girls. The commendation comes from Gender Minister Olivia Grange during a recent tour of the Women's Centre of Jamaica Foundation, WCJF, headquarters in Kingston.
Over the years, the interventions provided to Jamaica by the UNFPA, particularly within the COVID-19 context, have been able to strengthen our protection and response mechanism to positively impact the lives of every woman and child.
The minister further cited technical support provided to the WCJF by the UNFPA through the Spotlight initiative, which aims to end violence against women and girls, eliminate child sexual abuse and intimate partner violence, as well as discrimination against vulnerable groups. And that's it for JRS News Today. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching.